In this session, we are going to see how we can build multi-platform app which is for iOS as well as for Android. And let us see the platform setup instructions. In our system, we have to set JDK, then Xcode, Android Studio, and Kotlin. So these are the necessary tools we should have first of all. The next step is open the terminal. For example, I'm just opening my terminal. Then we have to use the tool called brew. Brew install Kdoctor. When you enter the Kdoctor command, you can see the environment diagnosis is happening. It is checking the operating system. Then Java, you can see the green check symbol. It means everything is fine. Then regarding the Android Studio, it gives some warning. It shows that Kotlin Multiplatform mobile plugin is not installed. So we'll see how it can be installed. Then for the Xcode, there is some error signal, so we have to fix it. So it gives a message that consider adding the following to is profile and export this line. So it shows some final status that it has diagnosed one or more problems while checking your environment. So let us see how it can be fixed. Now you have to take the Android Studio, go to the plugins option, and here you can type multi-platform. I will just show it in my system. Let me open the Android Studio. Take the settings, and here you can see plugins, and here you can type multi-platform. Here I have already installed it. Otherwise, you can see a button called install it. Just install it and click OK. So that is the part we missed here. You can see that install Kotlin Multiplatform mobile plugin. And next, in your terminal, type nano space. We can type this command, that is profile, and just append that line export capital letters lc underscore all equal this UTF. Then again open a new instance of the terminal and again type Kdoctor. It will check the process again, that is the environment, everything is ready. You can see operating system green, the Java, yes, a green check, Android Studio green check, Xcode green check, everything is fine. So now it gives a conclusion that your operating system is ready for Kotlin multi-platform mobile development. And one more thing, in your terminal, type this command sudo xcode -select space -switch space and give the path of the Xcode. So here you can see that /applications. Here in my applications, the Xcode is there. So where is the path? So locate the path and give the appropriate path here and enter the password. Otherwise, it may give some error that it cannot grab Xcode schemes or other issues regarding the command line tool selection. To get rid of this, ensure that you're executing this command also. So once everything is done, we can go for a simple multi-platform app development. Let me open the Android Studio, new project. And here bottom you can see Kotlin Multiplatform app. So after installing that plugin, you may restart your Android Studio. Click next. Let us say that my first multi-platform app, some name for the app. Then build configuration language, Kotlin DSL. Click next. And here you can see there are three parts. One is Android application name, then iOS application name, and the shared module name. The shared module contains the logic which is common for both iOS and Android. We'll see it very soon. And I'm going with the default values, the iOS framework distribution. I'm going with regular framework. Click finish. I'm taking the Project Explorer. I'm switching over from Android to project files. And each Kotlin multi-platform project contains 3 modules. Android app. So this module, it is a Kotlin module that builds into an Android application. It uses Gradle as the build system. And there is another module called iOS app. So this is the second module which is available. And this iOS app, it is an Xcode project that builds into an iOS application. And the third module, which is called shared, this is the Kotlin module that contains the logic which is common for both Android and iOS application. Now let us explore this shared module. We have the src folder, that is the source set. It contains 3 source sets. First one is Android main, then second one common main and iOS main. Where the Android main, this source set uses Kotlin code specific for Android. And for the iOS main, this source set uses the Kotlin code specific for iOS. And in between there is another source set which is called the common main, which uses the common Kotlin code. And for Android main, Kotlin JVM is used. For the iOS main, Kotlin native is used. And here, when the shared module is built into an Android library, the common Kotlin code is treated as Kotlin JVM. And when the shared module is built into an iOS framework, the common Kotlin is treated as Kotlin native. That is an overview about all these folders. Now, let us go to the file. I'm taking the common main source set, and here there is a Kotlin file called greeting. You can see greeting. So this is a plain class which contains an attribute platform, which contains another function called greet function, which returns some string. Now let us see the other file which is available, that is platform.kt. And here we are providing an interface. This interface can be any name, and this interface we can use it in both Android source set. We can apply, it can be an interface or anything, even it can be another class. So here an interface is kept, and this interface can be implemented for our Android main class as well as for iOS main class. And here it shows that, okay, there is one property, that is the name. And this is very interesting part. So there is a function called getPlatform, and it returns some data of type platform. But you can see that this function keyword is prefixed with a keyword called expect, where the expect is a keyword which is used to declare an expected declaration. And this expected declaration, it can be a function or it can be an interface or class. And this expected declaration doesn't have any body. For example, if you want to declare an interface by using expect interface my interface, only declaration, and this interface must be implemented in both Android main and iOS main. You can see that is what the error shows, that this expected interface has no actual declaration in Android main and iOS main. So right now I'm not adding anything. Here there is a function called getPlatform, and this must be implemented in Android main. You can see in Android main part and in iOS main here. So let us see whether it is implemented in Android main source set. So in Android main, you can see there is a file called platform.android.kt, and that file, you can see that the same function is implemented starting with the keyword actual fun platform, and it says that it returns some data, where this platform.android.kt, this Kotlin file, you can see that here it is a user defined name. We can use any name for the class, where this class implements the interface which we have kept in this file platform.kt. This interface, we are just implementing it in the file platform.android.kotlin, and there we had a property called a name, and we are overriding that, okay, its name is equal to Android, the OS version. And the most important part is how that getPlatform function, which we have already declared it here by using this expect, how it is implemented in Android platform. It should start with actual, then followed by function keyword, then function name, and is there any explicit return? Yes. And what does it return? You can see that here we are saying that return the Android platform object. So finally it gives this string representation. And the same thing we can find it in iOS main source set. There is a file called platform.ios.kt. See here, the same getPlatform must be implemented in both Android platform Codlin file as well as iOS platform Codlin file. So here there is another class name we are using, let us say that iOS platform, and it implements that interface. So here also we are returning some string representation, and where this function returns the object of iOS platform. And now let us see that how this application can be executed on Android. That is how we can build an Android app as well as iOS app. But before that, let me see that how all these things are connected. What will be the outcome? Here we have a module called Android app. Go to the src folder, the source set. We have only one source set, that is a main. Open the Java folder. Here you can see main activity.kt, and this is for preview. I'm just closing the preview, only the code. So here in the set content, we are calling a composable function called a greeting view. We can see that greeting view, and here you can see we are creating the object for that greeting class, an object of greeting dot greet function. And here in the common main, we can see the same greeting class, the same greeting class. So for this greeting class, we are creating the object and we are calling the greet function. So here we are passing some string data and that will be received here, and that will be set as a text view. And this is for Android app module. For the iOS app module, you can see there are two folders. One is iOS app. You can open content view. Here you can see the same thing. Let greet equal to greeting object dot greet, and the text, for the text object you are passing that string representation. That's all. So this is how it is connected. Now let us see how it can be built. So here first I am going to run the Android app. You can see that. And here it goes. You can see hello Android 34. Now let us see how it can be run on an iOS emulator. You can open here and say that edit configurations. Go to the iOS application, select iOS app. So this is the name of iOS app. The execution target you can select and click OK. Now you can see that we are going to run the configuration for iOS app. Run it. Yeah, here it goes. And now let us do some modification. In common main source set, we have platform Kotlin file. I am going to add a new function. So give expect fun. Let us say my fun. It should return another string. Now it gives the error that it is not, there is no actual declaration in iOS module and Android main. It means there is no actual declaration in the Android main source set as well as for iOS main source set. To fix the error, I'm just copying this function part and go to our Android platform. Here we have to provide actual function name, and let us say, so this is for Android platform. I'm going to type it as bright underscore Android. The error is not completely gone. The same thing we have to do it for iOS platform file too. Here also, let us say bright iOS. And now we have to bring it in that greet function. So here we have the greeting. For this greeting class, the object is created. Then using that object, the greet function is called. Now inside that, let me put private value. Let us say test function. It returns string, and we are going to call that my function. And for greet function, here I'm going to type a new line after displaying the platform name. We are going to put test fun. So dollar test fun. Now let us run the iOS app again. Stop and run. Here you can see the new data is appended. Now let us run for the Android app. Here you can see the second line is displayed. That's all. Thank you for watching it.